So Donald Trump is celebrating his win. He's speaking to leaders, he's spending time with family, and he's currently camping in Mar-a-Lago. That's his luxury resort in Florida. Meanwhile, his team is at work to prepare for the transition of power. Hectic meetings are underway. The first priority is to pick office bearers. That's candidates for the Trump cabinet. Several people are being vetted. And while this process is in focus only now, it began quite some time ago. That's right, the battle for these jobs began long before Election Day. So who are the top picks? Who are the people who will make up the cabinet for Trump 2.0? First, of course, is the vice president. Now, we already know who that will be. J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate. Vance is 40 years old. He is the first millennial on a major party's presidential ticket, one of the youngest elected vice presidents in America. He will also be the first former Marine to hold this post. So a lot of firsts right there. J.D. Vance used to be a venture capitalist. In 2016, he wrote a memoir called Hillbilly Elegy. That's what shot him to fame. In 2017, he called Trump, and I'm quoting, a moral disaster. Clearly, he's changed his views since then. In 2022, he ran for the first time for political office, and now, 2 years later, he is the vice president-elect. Next up is Secretary of State, the person shaping America's foreign policy, especially with 2 wars underway. So it is a crucial post. And there are a few choices here. One of them is Rick Grenell, Trump's former ambassador to Germany. He has a tough stance on NATO, also on defense spending, which makes him one of Trump's top picks. There's also Bill Hagerty, Trump's former ambassador to Japan. He is known for his strong views on China. Also in the running is Marco Rubio, Florida senator and a Trump ally since 2016. Then there's the defense secretary, another important position. And there are a lot of contenders here too, but there's one name that is emerging stronger than the others, Mike Pompeo. He's already worked under Trump as CIA head and Secretary of State. So Pompeo could be back for a second stint. Fourth on the list is Treasury Secretary. Trump won because he pledged to fix the economy, so he needs someone who can do that. The top pick is Scott Bessent. He is a hedge fund investor, also an economic advisor to Trump. He supported his use of tariffs before. Another contender is Larry Kudlow, a prominent TV financial analyst. He was the director of Trump's National Economic Council. Fifth is the health secretary. Again, many names in the mix here, but only one stands out, and that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He abandoned his own presidential bid to endorse Trump. He wants to make America healthy again, and Trump seems to like that. He's promised to let Kennedy, and I'm quoting, go wild with health. But it's going to be difficult. Even Republicans are unlikely to confirm this appointment. So RFK Jr. may not get the job after all. We'll have to wait and see. But he could still influence health policies, maybe as a White House health czar. And finally, there's the chief of staff. During his last 4 years in the White House, Donald Trump had 4 chiefs of staff. That's a very high attrition rate for such a position. So he may want to avoid it this time, and that means picking loyalists like Susie Wiles, Trump's campaign manager, or Kevin McCarthy, the former U.S. House Speaker. Those are the important positions, but some other names are being floated too, like Indian origin Kash Patel. He's a Trump loyalist. In his previous cabinet, Patel was a national security official. Now he's being considered again, possibly for an intelligence role, like the CIA director or the director of national intelligence. And we also have Elon Musk, of course. He doesn't want a cabinet position. He wants an entire new department. It's called DOGE. That's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. The Tesla CEO wants to lead it to make the government run smoother. So those are some of Donald Trump's top picks. We don't know who he will choose eventually, but we know what his top criterion is, and that is loyalty. He talked about it on the Joe Rogan podcast. He said he regretted picking some people the last time. A lot of them abandoned him, so he wouldn't want to make the same mistakes. But while Trump may have his favorites, his party may not agree with all of them. You see, they were all behind him, united behind him during the campaign. But when it comes to running the government, there's a split. You have your traditional Republicans. They want a strong foreign policy, endless wars, and cutting down social spending. Then there's the populists, your J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's son, Don Jr., and even Tucker Carlson. They don't want the wars. They want to cut military aid. They want to boost industries. So that will be a battle going forward. We'll have to wait and see how it impacts the functioning of the Trump government. After he picks his team, Trump will get down to business. America is dealing with a host of problems. Chief among them are the economy and illegal immigration. Trump based his campaign on these issues. He promised to fix them, and that's why he was elected for a second term. So what will he tackle first? Where will he start? Let's go through what the first 100 days of his second term could look like, starting with day one.
We're going to turn it around. It's going to happen really fast, too. Two things. We're going to, first day, first hour, we can do many things in the first, but first, we're going to drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill was Trump's war cry throughout the election campaign. It was a solution to fix the economy, lower the energy prices, and bring drilling jobs back to the U.S. Trump says he will expedite drilling permits, clear any pending pipeline projects, and increase the sales of offshore drilling rights for oil and gas. It's a drastic departure from Joe Biden's green policies. But Trump is having none of that. His return means that a return to old-school fossil fuel exploitation in overdrive. And he says that he will enable all of this as soon as he takes office. Then comes the other big challenge, migration. Trump has day one plans for that too.
On November 5th, 2024, this will be Liberation Day in America. It's going to be liberation. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history.
Trump has a two-pronged approach to deal with the migration problem. First, getting rid of illegal immigrants who are already in the U.S. with a massive deportation drive. Trump says that he will round up all undocumented migrants and kick them out. Can he really do that? Well, it is possible because Trump has an ace up his sleeve.
I'll invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Did you know that? I had to go back that far. We couldn't find anything because modern day politicians, even sort of old time, nobody had the courage of these original people.
Trump had to go very far back, but he found a law that could allow him to deport people. America's Alien Enemies Act from 1798. Trump and his advisors have done their homework, and they think that this law will help them execute their deportation plan on day one. So that's the first prong of his plan to deal with illegal immigration. The second is making Mexico a buffer.
But now we have a new president in Mexico. Supposed a very nice woman, they say. I haven't met her. And I'm going to inform her on day one or sooner that if they don't stop this onslaught of criminals and drugs coming into our country, I'm going to immediately impose a 25% tariff on everything they send in to the United States of America.
Trump plans to fortify America's southern border to stop new illegal immigrants from getting in. He plans to bring back his Remain in Mexico program, forcing asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their applications get processed. But for that, the Mexican government must cooperate. And here's how he will ensure that. Tighten the economic screws and keep raising tariffs until Mexico gives in. Trump has promised to do all of this on just day one. It is an ambitious agenda, but his team says they're ready. They're preparing a set of executive orders, presidential decrees that he can sign on day one in office to get the ball rolling. After this, his plans will get executed the old-fashioned way, via Congress. Trump's Republican Party has already flipped the U.S. Senate. They may retain control of the House of Representatives too. We're waiting for those results. If that happens, they get the trifecta. Control of both houses of Congress plus the presidency. The Republican Party will control all these three arms of government. Then nothing can stop Trump from passing the laws that he wants. If that happens, we can also expect tax cuts. Within days of Trump taking charge, Republican Congress leaders are reportedly circulating this letter. It shows that tax cuts are on top of the agenda. There will be other important issues to address too, but tax cuts, drilling and deportation are the focus of Trump's first 100 days in office. After he picks his team, Trump will get down to business. America is dealing with a host of problems. Chief among them are the economy and illegal immigration. Trump based his campaign on these issues. He promised to fix them, and that's why he was elected for a second term. So what will he tackle first? Where will he start? Let's go through what the first 100 days of his second term could look like, starting with day one.
We're going to turn it around. It's going to happen really fast, too. Two things. We're going to, first day, first hour, we can do many things in the first, but first, we're going to drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill was Trump's war cry throughout the election campaign. It was a solution to fix the economy, lower the energy prices, and bring drilling jobs back to the U.S. Trump says he will expedite drilling permits, clear any pending pipeline projects, and increase the sales of offshore drilling rights for oil and gas. It's a drastic departure from Joe Biden's green policies. But Trump is having none of that. His return means that a return to old-school fossil fuel exploitation in overdrive. And he says that he will enable all of this as soon as he takes office. Then comes the other big challenge, migration. Trump has day one plans for that too.
On November 5th, 2024.